Oh, guys, this is getting spicy. Apparently, Warner Brothers did want to fire Amber Heard, but it was Elon Musk who threatened the studio to keep her.
Everyone, it's me, Steph, the alternate, Johnny, the alternative, and joined by our erstwhile leader, Andy. How are you doing this afternoon?
I am doing great. I love these breaks with you guys. I get to hunch over and stare and talk to you. And this story is wild. We talked about her yesterday because there was a lot of sort of talk about is she getting blacklisted, et cetera, et cetera. But this comes in from Variety and it's coming from Tatiana Siegel. And no, look, I got to give Tatiana respect here. I haven't always done that because she did a really nasty piece on Johnny way back. But it's strange as the trial progressed, it does seem like Tatiana has finally wised up to the ways of Amber. So I have to give her respect for at least going for both sides. You know what I mean? And it's really encouraging to see her do this. Really, guys, this is a really in depth breakdown of what's going on from the trades. Doesn't mean it's all true, but it's definitely more true than some of the other gossip we're seeing from the gossipers and scoopers out there. But yeah, look, we sort of knew this, right, Steph? And you can help sum it up. But as you're going through, but we knew these notes from Dr. Hughes started leaking out, and we're seeing parts of it. And some of those notes is where we heard about Jason Momoa dressing up like Johnny Depp and pushing Heard all around, I guess, on set and not wanting her there. Now, this reports that the Warner Brothers sources are now saying that wasn't true. He just dresses bohemian and wears rings. It had nothing to do with Johnny. Sometimes he has a beer, but he was never drunk. They defend Jason very thoroughly in this piece, saying that he doesn't do it. But Amber makes these accusations in the notes. But we can go through them, Steph, and please, what I'm missing, scroll through. But I want to get to I don't want to bury the lead. The Elon Musk part was the one when I read that was news to me, and that was just wild. We'll get to some of the sort of other comments that the studio has said previously that we're learning, but it's here it is. Sorry, I'm scrolling on my own. The looking for the Elon quote. There's a part if you can find
Yeah,
it
so
there.
this
There it is.
this is it here. So Amber Heard was nearly fired. Sources on both sides are actually telling Variety. So following Aquaman, the original movie being released back in 2018, the studio and the director James Wan decided that they wanted to actually drop Amber from the sequel due to a lack of chemistry with Momoa, and sent a letter to her attorney Carl Austin informing him of its decision. Now, this was actually discussed during the trial, whether she was actually going to be dropped from Aquaman 2 because of the lack of chemistry, rather than being dropped from Aquaman 2 because of the, probably an understatement, but the controversy that she was embroiled in with
Well,
Johnny Depp
and
at the time.
I was going to say, it's important to also note that Elon didn't come into this conversation when they did. There was a lot of avoiding Elon, and I don't want to get into the drama and outsides, but there's a lot of conflict reports coming in that Brown Rudnick also represented Elon Musk, which is potentially a conflict of interest. Why wasn't he actually brought in this trial and demanded that he come do testimony? Because there's clearly now a lot of connections between Johnny, Elon, this Amber stuff. It's a lot, and I don't know why he was able to not. How was he allowed to avoid this? It makes no sense. But all that said, yeah, it was Elon who apparently made this request. He threatened, he sent one of his litigators to send a scorched earth letter to Warner Brothers, threatening to burn the house down if the actress wasn't brought back for a sequel, a source familiar with the behind the scenes battle. Warner Brothers caved and moved forward with Heard. Musk did not respond to requests for comments. Now, we'll see if he responds on X. I think I need to do a tweet as this video comes out to Elon to publicly confirm or deny, because he loves to talk about everything, Steph, but why not this? And it's so weird because we went through that whole book, the Walter Isaacson's Elon Musk book, where they do acknowledge that they called Amber the Joker. Like it was clear everyone in Elon Musk hated her and talked about how toxic she was and how bad she was for him and how toxic the relationship was, pretty much echoing everything we've heard from her previous relationships, right? Not even just Johnny, but with what's her name? Talia before, who she was arrested, doing stuff too. There's a pattern here. So all of this is just fascinating to learn and to see that Warner Brothers, I guess, was able to be threatened by Elon. Like, why? How does Elon have this power, Steph? What Warner Brothers secrets? I mean, I guess it was just high-powered litigators saying, you're wrongfully terminating her, and we're going to sue you to Kingdom Come. And then Warner's litigators realized, okay, yeah, this isn't worth it. Just write her out of the movie. But that's pretty shocking, is it not, Steph?
Well, yeah, it is pretty shocking reading here, that he sent a scorched earth letter to Warner Brothers threatening to burn the house down if the actress wasn't brought back for a sequel. I definitely agree with you. I'm very interested in Elon Musk's response to that, whether he's going to deny it or defend those actions. Why he would even want to jump into the fray and do that in the first place for Amber is beyond me. However, it was Ronan Farrow actually a couple of months back. He did release a very lengthy expose on Elon Musk. And really read through that article, guys, because that pretty much, as far as I'm concerned, explains how Elon Musk has so much power, not only over, studios such as Warner Brothers, but governments and our own politicians as well. It is absolutely scary how much this man has in terms of power and how he wields it. It really, really is frightening. Although, on a lighter note, Jason Momoa, if he actually did do this and he got drunk and he dressed up like Johnny Depp just to kind of like piss Amber the turd off, do you know what? I'm like, snaps to you, mate. Don't even deny it. Own it. Everyone would be like, legend. Absolute legend if he did that. Because, if Amber the turd can cosplay as a character from Overwatch, for Elon Musk, I'm sure that Jason Momoa is okay to cosplay as, one of his favourite actors in the whole wide world, and that just happens to be Johnny Depp, right?
I buy it because I mean I don't know. That's Amber was put in the first movie. I remember Amber was complaining in the press about Jason ripping pages from her book. Did you hear about that? She'd be reading books because she always had to look smart, and apparently Jason would just rip pages from her book and then run away, which honestly is a super mean, such a dick thing to do. But sorry, now with Amber, I'm just like, cool, like good job, bud. So
Yeah.
yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at all. But what's interesting, as you not only that we knew about the dressing of Johnny, but this is also reiterating that Momoa wanted her booted from the franchise. And so we learned this from the therapy notes. If I guess if you keep scrolling, Steph, it'll say in these supposed therapy notes with Dr. Hughes, it does say that he wanted her fired. Basically, conversations from Jason Momoa and James Wan, the film's director, were not saying good. But here was Jason said he wanted to be fired. Jason drunk, late on set, dressing like Johnny, has all the rings too. I mean, let's be real. Jason does dress like Johnny. That might have just been a coincidence. Let's keep it a buck. He does have the bohemian style and the rings and the loose stuff. But if he really put on like a Jack Sparrow costume and was just mocking her, probably a dick thing to do. But I'm kind of here for it. I'm not gonna lie. Given everything Amber did, that's pretty amazing for Jason, and I see that as having Johnny's back to be like, let's make this not as easy for you. But anyway, the studio has Jason's back, not hers.
Yeah.
Jason's conducted himself professional at all times. Others echoed the sentiment. Jason works his ass off, likes to have a beer once in a while, like everyone, but doesn't show up drunk to set. The two stars got along and were seen joking together. And he isn't dressing like Johnny Depp. He has always dressed in the bohemian style. Is sort of what's going on there. Now, interestingly enough, Heard's team didn't comment. Usually she loves to comment when it's not true. When it is true, it does seem like she avoids. So she's not pushed further. But the release notes came out. I guess if you keep scrolling, James Wan treated her like a pariah. Where was it? Sorry, I was just trying to find it. Nobody could take selfies with me on set given the blackout. She's complaining. I mean, that's regular. Like, she's trying to spin this into some deal, but I read that. I'm like, well, that's standard on any set. You can't go take selfies on the set of the movie that's like, DC or Marvel. It just doesn't work that way. But the therapy session painted a picture of her feeling unsupported by the film's director, James Wan, and treated like a pariah because of her high profile battle. He raised his voice at me. I can't even post about Aquaman. Made it like it was my fault. I said, I'm sorry. Juan decided to decline comment, but said James is known for treating members of his cast and crew with the utmost respect and for fostering a positive, collaborative environment on set. Aquaman films are no exception, and I believe that. I've heard nothing but good things about James Wan. And yet, Heard was nearly fired, as we learned, and then we go in, and apparently it was that chemistry test. They talked about this in the trial, Steph. We knew this. Yeah, to me, what's interesting is this whole deal here where they really didn't want her there. They didn't like her, clearly, and Elon Musk is what ultimately, I guess, scared them into keeping her. Now, this article does confirm what we sort of heard. While I don't think they're cutting her from the movie, and they haven't, they did trim scenes, which we've reported on previously. I think if you scroll down, there's an action scene and a love scene that apparently was shot and ultimately scrapped in this new version of the film. So we'll see what happens. But on-set source disputes the idea that Aquaman 2 is troubled, knowing that the film was on time, under budget, and needed only about a week of reshoots. If that's true, then kudos to James Wan, because he did deliver. But I do believe there was clearly drama in this project, and I would say it really does circle around Amber, it seems. But this whole movie is such a waste, Stuff. Why do we even make? I mean, I know why. It made $1 billion. They're trying to cash in, but as this is reminding us, the whole Snyderverse is over. All these characters are getting replaced. It's just so unnecessary. And the article, to its credit, sort of acknowledges, like, yeah, they're just hoping to get a flash in the pan success due to the timing of its release. If there's nothing else good out, they'll try to make some of their money back. And they're really relying on China, where I guess they made some money the first time around, to just try to break even. And honestly, no, studio, Hollywood, they don't care about right or wrong. They never have, they never will. They care about money, moolah. And what is the easiest sort of, equation that they have to make the most money here? Release the damn movie. Keep Amber in a little bit. Don't ride the boat, rock the boat. Don't put her in too much. Let's just get this dumb movie out and we'll move on to the next phase. Steph, what's interesting, my nerd hat goes in. There's also speculation in this article that they're just going to sell DC to Universal, because at some point in the next couple of years, they're just trying to sort of auction off a lot of these properties that Warner Brothers has anyway. And to me, that only echoes the fact that they just don't care. They just don't care about this property, about her, about any of it, I don't think. And they're focused on the next thing. And I think Zaslav and Warner are focusing on how do we sell, make more money, and upgrade. So anyway, there's a lot of stuff. If you guys want to check out the Variety piece, but the Elon Musk of it was a shocker to me. We always assume those connections, right, Steph? But if this is true, that's weird, man. This dude is simping for her way too much, and he was calling Johnny a cuck. Like, my God, Elon, this is bad, man. I feel bad, and to an extent, just because it does seem like he's, she's done the same thing to Johnny that she's not, to Elon and all these partners. It's scary, and I don't know why aren't more people who have been defending her seeing the pattern? You know what I mean, Steph? There's a clear pattern here with Amber and her partners that should be huge red flags for anybody.
Wow. On that bombshell, guys, that is it for today's video. If you appreciated this and you want more, and of course you want more, then make sure you subscribe to Popcorn Planet, turn that notification bell to all, like this video, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theories, whatever, and go one step further and join today. Become a Popcorn Planeteer for as little as $5.99 a month and get an exclusive content from the man himself, Andy Signor. With that being said, thank you so much for tuning in to today's video. We appreciate all your faces, and here on your screen right now are some videos that you want to clickety click.